Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. We are cooking up today, and if you have a bunch of people that are visiting, well, listen up, because this sandwich is going to be a nice one to get folks off on the slopes. First of all, I have pulled out my Parmesan crisp. We are stepping things up for the holiday. I'm going to let you know how to make those in just a moment, but what I want to tell you that if you are making a sandwich, and I'm making a sandwich for 8 people today, so I got a ciabatta roll, I sliced it in half, and now what I'm going to do is put it in the oven, because whenever you're making a sandwich, you want the inside of your roll to be nice and crispy, because we're going to be putting eggs and veggies and sausage and a whole bunch of goodies on it, and then what happens is it gets kind of mucked up. So you want to toast up your bread. So today our breakfast sandwich is going to be an Italian style breakfast sandwich. So I have chopped some red peppers and I'm roasting them. All right, I don't know why I wore stuff that dangles near fire while I'm cooking today, so I'm just going to tuck that in a little bit and show you how to cut a red pepper. One of the really cool things about red peppers is that they are actually a green pepper that has been sitting on the vine longer, and it turns into a red pepper. So when you're slicing it, this is how I like to slice it. I just like to slice it so that you get most of the insides, most of this out of the pepper. And then when you slice it into these pieces, you can either roast it in the oven or you can roast it on your grill, and then you can just julienne it, which means you slice it nice and thin like that, and then you just chop it up. This is going to let you cook the roasted red pepper pretty quickly when you put it in the oven. The second thing I wanted to show you today is how to chiffonade. Have you heard of that? It's kind of a fancy word for cutting an herb. Today we're putting some basil on our sandwich. So when you chiffonade, you put all of the herbs in a row and then you roll them up. When you roll them up, then you kind of just go like this. That is called a chiffonade, and this is a nice way to work with basil because it's going to make it really pretty, and basil is something that you want to put on at the end of your dish because it's an herb and it's leafy, and if you put it in the middle, then what's going to happen is it's going to make it all brown and ugly. So what I've done so far is I made some Parmesan crisps. I toasted up in our pan sausage, so that's just plain old Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage. I broke it up. I like mine pretty crispy, so I put it in a cold pan, and then I heated it up slowly and broke it up with a spoon. Then I chopped 2 roasted red peppers because I'm making sandwiches for 8 people, and I put them in my pan as well. So that's going to be really healthy because that red pepper has tons of vitamin C. Now I have a little bit of the fat from the sausage and a little bit of the flavor from the roasted red peppers, and I'm going to add my eggs. I'm going to turn my pan up because I'm adding 10 eggs for a sandwich with 8 people, and I've chopped up 2 ounces of cream cheese that I'm putting in there to make it nice and creamy. So I turned up my pan. I'm going to let that start cooking, and now let me tell you about these crisps really quick. All right, my pan's not too hot, so I can bring it over here. This is Parmesan crisps. I'm going to put those on the sandwich when I'm done building it to give it a nice crisp and a nice Parmesan flavor. What you do when you're making Parmesan crisps is you just put a piece of parchment paper down on your pan, and then you put a pile of Parmesan. That's all you do. You just put a pile of Parmesan right on there, pop this in the oven at 300 for about 8 minutes, and then it becomes a crispy Parmesan piece. This is one of the best things to make. You can serve it on a cheese platter, you can serve it as an appetizer, you can serve it as a base for an appetizer, or you can put it on a sandwich and give it that crunch. So what we're doing today is we are making an Italian sub, a breakfast Italian sub for 8 people. I've got sausage, roasted red peppers, Parmesan crisps, basil, and scrambled eggs with cream cheese. We're going to build that baby in just a few minutes, so stick around. You're watching Good Morning Vail.